We are counting down the 7 dumbest influencer stunts caught on camera, where the pursuit of viral fame didn't just go too far, it turned deadly. From rooftop selfies gone wrong to live-stream disasters, each entry reveals how audience expectations and escalating challenges pushed creators past the point of no return. Which fatal moment was the most shocking ever self-recorded? Let's begin with number 7. Wu Yongning, age 26, built an audience of over 100,000 by scaling skyscrapers and dangling from ledges without any safety gear. His signature move, one-handed pull-ups on the edge of China's tallest buildings, became a magnet for followers and brand sponsors. On November 8, 2017, Wu set up a phone on a tripod and an action camera to capture a sunrise stunt atop the 62-story Huayuanhua Center in Changsha. Device metadata shows recording began at 5:39 a.m. 8 seconds before reaching for a new camera angle, his foot slipped on the narrow beam. The phone continued filming as he lost grip, tumbling 55 meters in less than 3 seconds. The footage captured the final, blurred descent before silence. Emergency responders pronounced him dead at the scene from polytrauma, multiple catastrophic injuries incompatible with life. Friends later revealed he refused harnesses, citing audience expectations and his own brand identity. After the footage leaked and circulated online, Chinese platforms banned rooftoping hashtags and tightened dangerous content policies. Local authorities introduced new trespassing penalties for rooftop access, citing the incident's device data and viral spread as evidence of the need for reform. The camera kept rolling, documenting not just the pursuit of a perfect shot, but the moment that pursuit became fatal. A wildlife adventure creator with a following of over 250,000 built his reputation on close encounters with dangerous animals, often framing his content as both thrilling and educational. His channel's engagement soared with each riskier upload, comments routinely pushed for even closer shots, with viewers demanding proof that he could get nearer than any other influencer. On a summer morning, he entered a national park carrying a smartphone on a gimbal, aiming for a viral reaction video with a wild bison grazing nearby. Ignoring posted warnings and a 25-yard legal buffer, he advanced to within 7 meters, narrating his approach for the camera. Data from the device later confirmed the proximity. Within seconds, the bison charged. The footage recorded the impact as the animal's horn struck his torso, followed by trampling. Emergency logs described thoraco-abdominal crush injuries. Paramedics documented no signs of life upon arrival. The phone continued recording as park rangers responded, capturing the aftermath in clinical detail. The video, quickly circulated and then removed, became a focal point in the debate over influencer safety. National park officials responded by tightening permit requirements for content creators and enforcing a strict minimum distance rule. The platform involved issued new guidelines, warning that educational framing did not exempt creators from safety regulations. The comment threads that once encouraged escalation became evidence of the pressures that dissolved critical safety barriers. Anvi Kamdar, age 27, built an audience of 275,000 on Instagram by chronicling travel adventures across India. Her reels, especially those filmed during monsoon season at remote waterfalls, drew tens of thousands of likes and a steady stream of comments urging her to get closer, to push further. On July 16, 2024, Kamdar and 2 friends visited Kumbhe Waterfall in Maharashtra, known for its 300-foot gorge and treacherous rocks slick with rain. She balanced on the edge, smartphone in hand, aiming to capture a panoramic reel for her followers. As she shifted her footing on the wet stone, her shoe slipped. The device recorded the brief, chaotic descent, muffled shouts, a blur of green and gray, then silence. Friends called for rescue teams at 11:32 a.m. Emergency logs document a 6-hour search and rappelling operation down the gorge. Kamdar was found alive but unresponsive, suffering from multiple fractures and severe head trauma. She was placed on a ventilator at Mangaon Taluka Hospital and died during treatment that evening. The footage was not released, but news of her death spread rapidly across social platforms. Comment sections filled with regret and disbelief, many referencing earlier warnings from both family and followers. In response, local authorities issued new advisories against approaching waterfalls during monsoon, and district officials installed additional barricades and warning signs at Kumbi and similar sites. Kamdar's final moments, captured by her own camera, illustrated how invisible hazards, rain-slicked stone, unpredictable footing, become lethal when the pursuit of content overtakes caution. A fashion and lifestyle influencer with just over 300,000 followers built her brand around stylized shoots in unconventional locations. Her feed, filled with moody edits and carefully staged poses, reflected the peak of the track aesthetic trend that swept Instagram from 2016 to 2019. Comments on her recent posts urged her to go bolder, to find new backdrops that would stand out in a saturated market. On the morning of her final shoot, she arrived at an active railway line with a friend, carrying a DSLR mounted on a gimbal and a helmet camera for behind-the-scenes footage. Device logs later confirmed both cameras were rolling as she stepped onto the tracks, intent on capturing a shot with perfect symmetry and motion blur. The train's horn registered on the audio waveform at 11:43 a.m. A long, rising blast followed by shouts from bystanders off camera. She asked for one more shot and adjusted her position, ignoring the growing urgency in the voices around her. The oncoming train, traveling at 140 kilometers per hour, appeared in the frame seconds before impact. The footage captured the moment of collision, followed by sudden silence and a cascade of static. Medical examiners cited immediate exsanguination from catastrophic blunt force trauma. Death was instantaneous, with no chance for intervention. Rail authorities seized the cameras as evidence, using the video and device metadata to reconstruct the timeline. In the weeks that followed, transport agencies installed new fencing and warning signs at popular photography spots, while social platforms began suppressing hashtags linked to railway shoots. Analysis of trespass statistics revealed a drop in similar incidents after the crackdown. The influencer's final recording became a case study in how the normalization of risk for content creation can override even the loudest warnings, endangering not just creators, but the wider public. Alex Denny's subscriber count crossed 600,000 in early 2023, driven by a pivot from car reviews to high-adrenaline stunts. His feed shifted from technical walkarounds to street races, drifting challenges, and public road speed runs. The comment sections filled with requests for higher speeds, riskier maneuvers, and more dramatic camera angles. Brand partnerships and ad revenue tracked closely with the spike in engagement metrics, reinforcing the escalation. On June 12th, Denny and two associates set up a high-speed run on Florida's State Route 9. 3 GoPro cameras mounted on the dash, rear window, and exterior captured every angle, while a drone hovered above to record the full stretch. Telemetry logs later recovered from the dashcam showed acceleration from 0 to 120 miles per hour in under 9 seconds. The posted limit was 55. At 7:41 p.m., Denny initiated a passing maneuver, weaving between traffic as the drone operator called out clear stretches over a radio. Tire marks and crash reconstruction data indicate he lost control while attempting to overtake a sedan at 124 miles per hour. The car veered across the median, clipped oncoming traffic, and flipped twice before coming to rest against a guardrail. The GoPros continued recording as airbags deployed and the cabin filled with smoke. Emergency responders arrived 8 minutes after the first 911 call. The medical examiner's report cited multi-system blunt force trauma, with death occurring on impact. 2 other drivers sustained non-fatal injuries. 1 required hospitalization. Footage from all 4 cameras was seized by investigators and later entered as evidence in both criminal and civil cases. Insurance providers denied coverage for damages, citing gross negligence due to the deliberate filming of illegal activity. The platform demonetized Denny's channel and removed dozens of related uploads, referencing new guidelines against dangerous driving content. Prosecutors filed charges of aiding and abetting reckless endangerment against the drone operator and the second driver, using synchronized camera data to establish coordination. The viral spread of the crash sequence fueled calls for stricter moderation of street stunt content and set precedents for insurance and criminal liability. The metrics that once rewarded escalation now served as evidence. In the comment threads, in the telemetry logs, and in the final uninterrupted footage of a fatal pursuit for digital fame. John James McMurray, a Canadian musician and extreme sports influencer, amassed over 400,000 followers by fusing hip-hop with high-risk stunts. His feed featured rooftop parkour, wingsuit flights, and base jumps, each video meticulously edited to highlight both artistry and danger. McMurray's audience, accustomed to his technical breakdowns and multi-angle footage, frequently pushed for more daring jumps and behind-the-scenes telemetry. In October 2018, he planned a new sequence, a building-based jump in downtown Vancouver, combining a chest-mounted GoPro, a drone for aerial tracking, and synchronized telemetry from both devices. Device logs show the drone locked GPS at 49.2827 degrees north, 123.1207 degrees west at 7:14 a.m. The chest camera's IMU recorded baseline orientation and altitude as McMurray stepped onto the ledge, wind sensors indicating a steady cross breeze of 14 knots. The plan called for a forward leap, a 0.9-second freefall, and immediate parachute deployment to clear the rooftop's edge. At T+0.8 seconds, a sudden gust, logged by both drone barometer and GoPro accelerometer, tilted his trajectory. The parachute deployed late, lines twisted, and the canopy failed to inflate fully. Drone footage captured McMurray spinning laterally, striking the building's facade at over 90 kilometers per hour. The chest cam's gyroscope registered 2 abrupt decelerations. Initial impact, then ground contact. Autopsy records cite fatal cranial and thoracic trauma, with instantaneous loss of consciousness. Both cameras continued recording as emergency crews arrived. Forensic analysts later reconstructed the event frame by frame, aligning GPS, IMU, and barometric data to confirm the wind's role and the exact timing of parachute deployment. The footage and technical logs became central to safety investigations, prompting city officials to review rooftop access controls and airspace permit requirements. Building owners installed new barriers and motion detection alarms, while local authorities coordinated with drone registries to monitor unauthorized aerial filming. Social platforms responded by expanding bans on unsanctioned extreme sports content, flagging uploads with telemetry or location metadata from restricted urban zones. McMurray's final jump, captured from multiple perspectives and logged in precise detail, underscored the limits of skill in the face of unpredictable variables and the way digital evidence can drive systemic change after tragedy. A prank streamer with a following of over 800,000 built his brand on live challenges that pushed the boundaries of safety and taste. His channel's metrics showed regular spikes during high-risk stunts, with super chat donations and real-time polls steering the direction of his next act. In early 2023, he announced a new live challenge, entering a disused industrial site to interact with high-voltage equipment, promising his audience a shock, both literal and figurative, if donation goals were met. The stream began at 8:07 p.m., with over 8,000 viewers logged in and chat activity surging. Donation logs recorded more than $3,700 in super chats within the first 6 minutes, each accompanied by messages daring him to escalate. Several top contributors attached specific requests. touch the transformer panel, hold the cable for longer, increase the voltage. The streamer read these aloud, responding with nervous laughter and reminders that the real show would begin once the donation bar filled. Platform Analytics later confirmed a 28% spike in concurrent viewers as the moment approached. At 8:13 p.m., he positioned his phone on a tripod to ensure a clear shot. A secondary camera, set up for archival footage, captured a wide angle of the abandoned factory floor. Device metadata and stream logs later confirmed both feeds were active as he donned rubber gloves and approached a rusted transformer labeled with a faded high-voltage warning. The chat, visible on screen, filled with rapid-fire messages, some urging caution, most encouraging him to proceed. A poll appeared in the overlay. Should I go for it? Over 90% of respondents voted yes. He gripped a cable announcing the voltage, 15,000 volts according to the panel, before bracing for contact. The instant he touched the exposed terminal, the main camera captured a violent convulsion. His body stiffened, then collapsed, striking the concrete. The stream continued uninterrupted for 12 minutes, during which chat activity surged with disbelief, confusion, and calls to get up or stop faking. Several viewers attempted to contact emergency services after realizing the severity of the incident. Emergency responders arrived at 8:27 p.m., as confirmed by dispatch logs. Paramedics pronounced him dead at the scene from cardiac arrest secondary to high-voltage electrocution. The stream remained live, broadcasting the aftermath, until platform moderators intervened and cut the feed. Forensic analysis of the footage and chat logs later established a gap. A 30-second delay between the fatal contact and the first automated moderation flag. This delay became the subject of internal reviews and public debate. Platform administrators archived the stream, then removed it, citing new guidelines for dangerous live content. Policy documents released in the following weeks outlined the introduction of mandatory delay buffers for all live streams flagged as high risk, along with stricter AI-driven intervention protocols. The moderation team's internal report referenced the incident's donation data, chat transcripts, and device timestamps as evidence of the feedback loop between creator and audience. Legal authorities in multiple jurisdictions opened criminal negligence investigations, examining whether viewers who encouraged the act or contributed financially could be held liable for incitement. No charges were ultimately filed, but the debate over audience complicity and platform responsibility intensified. In the months that followed, platforms expanded their enforcement of dangerous challenge bans, demonetized accounts with repeated violations, and increased transparency around moderation response times. The streamer's channel was removed, along with archived footage, but fragments of the final broadcast circulated in underground forums. The case became a touchstone for the dangers of algorithmic validation, real-time audience pressure, and the limits of platform intervention. The camera kept rolling, documenting not only the fatal pursuit of engagement, but the moment when the line between creator, audience, and platform dissolved, leaving only a digital record of a death that played out in real time. From the rooftopper's fatal fall to the live-streamed electrocution that played out before thousands, this countdown has tracked 7 influencers whose pursuit of online validation ended in self-documented tragedy. Across all entries, the common thread is escalation. Each creator was driven by audience demands, engagement metrics, and the pressure to deliver ever riskier content. The ranking reflects not just follower counts, but the level of audience involvement and broader impact. The top spots go to those whose deaths triggered sweeping policy changes or real-time viewer complicity. The most shocking cases, like the public crash and live electrocution, show how the camera didn't just capture, but actively shaped the fatal outcomes. These aren't random accidents. In every instance, the act of filming for virality directly led to the fatal decision. Ultimately, this list reveals how influencer culture can turn the tools of self-promotion into instruments of self-destruction, forcing platforms and viewers alike to confront the real-world costs of digital fame.